Welcome to the A Starship. My name is Kale, and we're still working on that 64-bit UUID system for Crab's C++ API, and which we then use with our Subsecond database Postgres extension. And this helps you optimize your queries. It makes the 64-bit perform code I can generate with my API. So AI generated slop actually fits me like a glove. So let's get right up into this. There's the mouse. Sorry, I lost my mouse. Oops. Sorry, we lost me. You can find this at github.com/a_starship/crabs. And hopefully pretty soon I'll be able to post Crab's Claw, but we got to deal with the 64-bit UUID system because we're cooked if we don't got that. So we'll see. All these other vibe coders are going to be coming up, eating my lunch, and yeah, I'm gonna retire at some point in time. Somehow I got like gray hair now. What are we doing? Still got this open. I'm so depressed about how slow this is going. Remap extended data types. Let's go look and peek around. Can we just close this out? Because like this is how long is this gonna take? So what do we got? We got the data types table. So you clone the repo, and then here's the root right here, and then we go into the spec, the data. Just had the AI fix all the links for me. Wondering how that's gonna go. Did it like screw everything up? I don't know. We'll see. This is what we're working on right now. The clock. Got the ASCII Data Types. Got the 32 POD types with the 12 contextual types because we only needed 4, 8. So 4 of each of the 8, 16, 32, 64, and 128-bit values. That was all that was required. And then there's a lot of different types I'd like to add. So we just put it to this, we just use these plain context types. And the reason why we use this is, well, the reason why I invented it was because we start off with this, the POD types, 0 is a void type. And then I did not add a 8-bit floating point because at the time, which was a long time ago, an 8-bit floating point number for AI was like, sounded silly. Everybody would have been like, what are you talking about, dude? There's nowhere near enough precision in an 8-bit floating point number. And boy, we were wrong. So we have only 3 different kind of character types. The cha A, cha B, and cha C. And then we have a 128-bit float because for some reason I thought that was more important than the 8-bit float. But then we're mapping one type to another using this bit pattern. Where is it? The 2-byte bit pattern here. 16-bit. but we work in bytes because we just throw out the ones that are powers of 2. But yeah, I do have to account for int 6. So there are things I have not thought of. So we got in the LSB, we got the plain old data type right here. The vector type, which is array, stack, matrix, or a homotuple. And a homotuple is 1 to 4 of the same type. So we have the size width bits, map type. Sorry, you can read them up here. The modifier bits, the constant bit. So the modifier bits, might rename that to something else because it used to mean something else. But now we have these pages where we have these void types where you could store a data type in the bit pattern. So then we have a bunch of illegal types. Where are they? Extended types. I have the here's the graph. So you put out we have the vector types here, VT bits, and then our plain old data type, the 0 through 32. Some of them are illegal. Some of them cannot happen because they're not memory aligned. This column is mapped to nil. And I have to be able to map it. I have to map. Why do I have to map it to nil? I don't remember the exact reason right now. There's a very good reason. I tried to remove it and then it didn't work. So we need this column. I don't like saying that, but it's been a while since worked on this. So we've got in the illegal types, now we fill them up with these extended types. So I got this clever bit pattern. This bit pattern allows you to shift these blocks around and then rearrange them into the extended types. So these extended types find things. We got the dictionaries, like the books, extended mappable types. What does mappable mean? Mappable means that it's in here. So these types that are mappable, they are very limited, but these exist in the bits. Where's that types? Bit pattern. The 2-byte pattern. So we have a map type. All right. And I can map this map type here to one of these 512 different LSB values. And so some of them are context types. So this means that within a different context, I could map to one of 12 different types, which then gives me now infinite flexibility, which is totally cool, dude. I think that that's one of the coolest things about this data specification. And the way that I do this, which is also very interesting, is that I pass a 64-bit value that has the offsets to remap the plain context type. I remap these to here, just using a 64-bit word broken up into a bunch of chunks of 5 bits. And then I end up with 4 bits left over, which we can also store something else that I don't really know what I'm going to do with. I'm not going to say what I'm going to do with it. So The extended types. Let's look at these extended types. Why does extended types keep disappearing? So with the extended types, we're remapping them. And then, oh, I think I did go through these a little bit. So here's this is just like a line break um, just for to clearly show it. Is this the extended standard types? Extended 8-bit type. Okay, so I need to have a Chinese room is supposed to have blocks of memory that I can pass a pointer to using a 16, 32, or 64-bit value. And then I should probably say, yeah, 8-bit value too. So we have um, the first 256 bits are reserved for the hottest cache items because we're going to be loading it as much as possible. So in this area, I've got to store the um, timestamp clock epic. All right. Uncomplete. Extended times. So we got the var and the string. I think I actually did reorder these because we have the varants in a reasonable place, right? I think this is the biggest thing that I had to do was a varant is an MSB variant encoded integer, which means that it's kind of like Unicode, except for we just use the instead of having the weird code pattern for the UTF-8, which actually kind of makes sense, but it's not like the optimal compression pattern. But maybe it's faster to scan because you can skip over bytes. I'm not sure though. I have no idea because whatever sort of like methodology they were using in order to prove that um, it was faster to do it one way, 10 years ago might not actually hold true with the hardware we have today. So you shouldn't be too dogmatic about stuff like that. But um, MSB variant encoding, just like if the MSB is 1, i.e., if it's a negative number, negative signed integer, then you load another byte. So we don't actually have one that's like an n bit. We should probably have one that's like an n bit var. D, do an E. I don't know exactly if I want to do that. Maybe not. 16 error. So let's poke over on the unit test. Because I could say that that's good enough. So let's just try to get the unit test to compile. Because I had forgot I had done that work. But yeah, I do actually remember doing that work because I had to change the var. Is this thing not? No. Okay. Some of it is like, I have 4K scaling issues. I'm using a 4K monitor that I split up 4 ways. Oops. What is it? Shit. Seem to. Sorry. Yeah, I can't zoom out. My keyboard shortcut's gone. I'm gonna try to fix that real quick because nobody's watching, apparently. Gotta go to hotkeys. The hotkeys in OBS are always disappearing. It's so stupid. It sucks. I need a plugin that deals with this stuff. Really need like a virtual keyboard driver. It's just not. I wanted to make one of those a long time ago, but I never got support with this, and it was like a drag. You know, I'd like to build a lot of different things with this API. That's what I'm looking for. Plus desktop overlay desktop. Uh-oh. This thing's moving so slow. So hard to like when you have hundreds of scenes. So hard to find things. Where was it? What's that forward slash? The problem with putting, I have like sort my scenes using like some characters to the front, like a forward slash backslash, at the dollar sign. And usually it works pretty good, but then sometimes it really doesn't work good. Like when you're trying to find alphabetically sorted stuff. But I mean, usually that doesn't take too long to find it. But it's just not something you really want to do. There it is, the desktop overlay. That's what I'm looking for. Here we go. This is what I'm looking for. Desktop full screen. Right, it disappeared. Son of a bee's knees. Wait. Control. Oh shit. There we go. This should work. Does it work? Yes. Got it. You cannot do this without a 4K monitor. One of the coolest things. I need to make what I'm calling OBS multicam plugin. And I'm just going to integrate this into the OBS multicam plugin because you can also use one 4K signal to have like 4 different cameras. So it makes sense to put that code in the multicam plugin. I'll be making that here sometime. Or isn't that like expose? Yeah. I'm limiting my live coding to just like one project. I have not been having good luck with the views, and I don't know. I feel like I'm wasting my time sometimes. But I would like to have a popular YouTube channel, but I don't know. I'm an old white dude. I'm too male, too pale, and too stale. All right. I just gotta delete this month's up here. Maybe it's a little bit cryptic, but I don't know what to tell you. So clock month. What do I gotta do? Go to the day? So the first step in converting the timestamp, we gotta get rid of the epoch. That has to be dealt with. So we take the timestamp and divide it by the seconds per year minus the epoch. 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 Epic. Epoch. So once we've gone there, now we are in sub-year seconds territory. So sub-year seconds means it's the number of seconds that is less than 1 year. Decent name. We're going to get that through the modulo function. Now, I probably don't actually need to write that, because if you knew that this was how you went about getting the sub-year seconds, you wouldn't need this function because it would be taking extra time. But it wasn't intuitively obvious to the most casual observer when I walked by and just glanced at it briefly that was how I am supposed to go about doing it. Because I just did manual modulo. Oops. So now we got the clock is leap year. That looks right. And then is a leap day. It's going to be if it's greater than or equal to the leap day, which is um what, April 29th? Oh shoot. Um, we got clock is leap year, or is leap. So is leap. Maybe I should just say is leap day and year. Wait. Uh-oh. Is leap is fine. So here we're going to take a binary search to get here. What does that? I need to figure out how to make it not do that. So it's pretty easy to verify. I got January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December. This one only has 4 in this half, and then there's 8 in here. So we got the full binary search tree going on here. You just gotta look to see. This is not right, is it? Huh? Yes, of course this is not right. So, um, if it's less than December start, less than July start, right? Then June start, right? August start, less than September start. Okay, and then okay, man. December, less than October. Gotcha. Wait, month, October. Okay, day to month. That looks right to me. That one's pretty easy to verify because you just put your things in the order of the month. So, and then we can we're just checking to see if it's below March. This one, first one here. It's these two. June, less than June. That's May. Less than July. This one. It's less than September. Wait, why is there an else if here? Because there's one. This one is like if it's under the halfway point right here. This is binary search. Oh, it's not under the halfway point. And then this one, I've exhausted all of the things, so that's why there's no if here. Well, hold on. It says else, so like this doesn't look right. If it's less than the half. Yeah, it looks suspicious. To be 100% honest, I've done this so many times. I'm just looking at it and not thinking. I'm just kind of doing some basic pattern recognition. So we have looking at the halfway point here. That's not. So then we've exhausted, so we don't have another else here. Because there's. I mean, I don't really need that else there, but it like, you know, it's good. I definitely need to test that. So let's add some unit test functions with the AI. Let's get that going on. Oh, I still have to do minutes and seconds. I've got two more of these to do. Sub year ticks. I don't do that there anymore. I got sub year ticks. Wait, seconds per hour. So we're just looking at the hour. Okay. Wait. Hmm? I'm gonna do that. Sub year seconds. This is where I do this. It's like trying to find the hour. So we've got to convert from years to days. Okay. So what do the sub here too? No. There's the sub here too. So now I need to convert this to hours, right? Now I need to convert it to days. Perfect. Why am I calling it sub here ticks? What the hell? Call this sub day. Does this make sense? Is there a faster way of doing this? So minute. I don't really like having like cascading division instructions or sequential division instructions if I could avoid it, but a little bit of trouble thinking how I would convert directly from should I just replace all this with like one module? Because I'm converting from like timestamp to year and then year to day. I would need the epoch in the number of days. So if I had the epoch in the number of days, then I would be good to go. So what does that mean? What do I times 1970 times 365.25? Seconds per epoch. What does this mean? Seconds. Why would I have to say timestamp? I don't. Sorry, at 89. Oh no. Seconds per epoch. I don't like this. Why is this hard coded at 10? Seconds per epoch. Look, why is this like this? Yeah, seconds. Okay, so it's just not correct. Though I do need this. Seconds per epoch. You might as well say epic seconds because I found it to be very confusing, so it's not confusing, right? It's just okay, so but this isn't the but there's different epic. Well, I mean, I need to like calculate the epoch for the 64 and the 128 bit. Because you might as well have a shorter epoch. Because, I mean, computers aren't really running for like that long. Although the 27-bit epoch, yeah, maybe you might have a server that's running that long. Maybe you shouldn't count on a server running that long. Maybe you should just take it down and just reset it every 4 years. Maybe. I don't know. I don't know. Who am I? I'm just some idiot on YouTube. That, you're an idiot if you listen to me, right? I'm joking. I'm joking. I'm joking. I really need to put anything other than February 28th here. I'm just so confused why this would be like this because there's all different kinds of epics. This comment doesn't make sense. Number of seconds per epic in a year. In N year? Oh my god, what the hell? Who the hell wrote this? Epic. But that doesn't make any sense. Unless it's like system wide. Clock now. So I'm over that. Epic. Then we reset. The hell? Okay. Right. So like, well, I have to like lock it. That's a can of worms. How do we do this? Right. So I need the Chinese root for this to even really properly do this because we have to. The problem is that we have to store this particular instruction, this clock epic, needs to be stored in a specific location in memory. Doesn't it? I don't know. I mean, I can imagine there's a case where like I initialize this system right before the epic. Okay. And then so I'm getting a time t, and then I'm grabbing this from. Oh, is this one of those files where I'm importing? Oh, yeah. One of these things. Right. Kind of want to put all of my C++ standard library calls in one file. I don't like this. I'm trying to replace the C++ library. I don't really like their style. Nobody does. C++ is cool, but yeah, it's still like a little bit like pulling teeth sometimes, though. What are you gonna do? Why is this one not right? Hmm? Okay, well, which ones are the same? Here's here's I'm not seeing it. Clock init. Why is this down here? Because it probably calls one of these. Um, SSD. So this one says TMT because that's isn't that what it is? Well, it says TMT here, but it's do I even have this on here? Okay, this one. Maybe this is supposed to say TMT. Is that right? Probably. Let's move on to the next one. Value. Oh yeah, I got rid of that. So What do we got to do? Like convert it to a day. So what am I looking for? Like sub day ticks. Day. Sub. We convert to year, then we convert to day. Once we're in day, then we can convert to the other things. So what do we do? Month. Sub year. So don't we get the day? Let's don't call it the base of 0. Wow. We convert from, well, this doesn't make sense. Sub year seconds. So, okay, never mind. It does. Here's the month sub year. You convert it to months. You convert from sub year seconds to the seconds per day. Okay, and then where's the day? Day up here. So I need another one that says clock sub day seconds. And then from the seconds, we can convert to the hours to the seconds. And sorry, we can convert the sub day seconds easily then to the hours and the seconds. So hours up here. Is it supposed to be down here? No, because there's some other day thing. There's a day and then here's sub day. So I need to take the day number, multiply it by the seconds in a day, and then subtract that. So I can't use the other function because I need to store the intermediate calculation. So I'm going to have to. So first step is the sub year seconds, right? Damn. It gets a little bit difficult to deal with when so one of these is also supposed to say sub year, which is, I don't like the complexity, but what do you want me to do? Make things magically not complicated? How much complication is that layer of abstraction going to be bringing in? So, sub day seconds, sub year, as if it doesn't get confusing enough, right? So, sub year seconds divided by number of seconds per day. Day seconds. So I return sub year seconds. Modulo seconds per day. Okay. Is that correct? So I got the sub year seconds and then modulo the seconds per day, which is 60 times 60 times 24. Then, I mean, that makes sense to me, right? Although to be clear, I don't really actually think when I program stuff like this, it happens in the back of my head in a really freakish way. So I'm staring at it, and it's just the mental processing just trickles back through the dome. It is such a weird feeling. You're just like, it's that's how they stumbled upon a lot of quantum physics formulas too. People are like, well, I know I'm gonna need this. I know I'm gonna need this. We're in the it's got to have this because we're dealing with like we got the electromagnetism, so we're gonna have that uh epsilon naught, and then you just arrange the positive and the minus to scale. You're like, okay, well, our numbers are bigger, their numbers are smaller, or vice versa. Scale it up so the things are right with the epsilon naught, and then it's like boom. You know what I'm saying? Uh, Maybe I'll do something with all this quantum physics knowledge. Who knows? I don't have enough to be useful, but I do have enough to distract me from doing anything useful. Oh no, the curse of quantum physics. Right. You go down the wrong rabbit hole on YouTube, dude. Next thing you know, you'll be ending up watching PBS Space Time. And you'll be on YouTube doing live coding 10 years later, still trying to learn quantum physics and what? Sunday second. Subday second. Okay, so then this is just blah 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 minus seconds per day. That's not what I wanted to do. T clock sub day seconds sub year. Blah blah blah. A little bit per bell. Not too bad. Somebody else will appreciate it. It's kind of it's just the idiosyncrasies of a timestamp. I don't know. I can't really change anything about it. It's complicated. You can only maybe speed it up with the LLM to get the pain and suffering over. So now I get the sub day seconds. All right. Month, sub year. Oh my God. Sub month seconds too. I'm gonna go crazy with all the different exponential things that happen with this. I just want to get the thing done, dude. I'm feeling low motivation on this one. So what do I do? T clock minutes. I don't even need any of this. Right. Now we're returning clock sub day seconds. divided by seconds per minute. Clock minute. Oh God. Wait a minute. This doesn't make any sense. This doesn't. Am I like being a bozo? What does the clock seconds do? Clock minute. Okay. So the minute. Does that make sense? So I'm converting it to a minute? Is that like the minute of the day? It's got to be the minute of the day. Maybe sub-day minute might be more descriptive. Oh. The hour one, this one makes sense, right? Seconds per hour. Sub-day seconds. Except for this doesn't make sense. It's not. This is the old one. Is it? No, I'm looking for the sub-day seconds. Right. Sub-day seconds. TN. Timestamp. And then there's supposed to be another one that's sub-year. Right, this stuff's gone. Yay, I like that at least. I don't need this anymore because once I use the function, it's done the casting for me. So this is just an enum. So this will be fine. And then when I copy this one over here, well, I'm almost at my hour. Nobody's watching. I don't want a 3 hour long thing. But yeah, if nobody's watching. If there's like people watching, jamming out, but YouTube is deemed me to be lame, or at least the crowd in YouTube that they showed my videos to. So I guess I'm not too cool enough. Maybe it's because like I'm white dude and like people are like, oh, some old white dude. That sucks. Being an old white dude, not that good. I hate that DEI shit. DEI sucks. Everything about it just sucks. Yeah, I wish I could go back to engineering school whenever the DEI stuff was coming out and take a different path. So the second. What do you mean, second? Second. Well, I wouldn't need Epic for a minute. I wouldn't care about the Epic. I'm just subtracting off the day of year. Don't mean Epic. Well, that's it for me. My hour is up. 59 minutes. I'm just not going to be live coding for super long. I'm going to try to do more pre-recorded videos because got to get my lameness factor in the YouTube algorithm up. And 3 hour long live coding videos nobody watched. It's definitely not doing good in the algorithm. So I got to do what I got to do to get those numbers up. But thanks for tuning in. If you're watching this after the fact, I'll try to produce better content. Thanks.